Hi, I'm Brad. Where are you calling from?
Hey Brad, I'm calling from Kelowna, BC.
Querétaro, México.
I'm calling from Syracuse, New York.
And wherever you are, welcome to Blond Radio. Hi, I'm Brad. I live on the west coast of Canada, and welcome to a special Christmas episode of Blond Radio, the podcast where each week I book calls with strangers from around the world. Instead of our usual 3 guests, today we'll have an extended conversation with Simon Kim, the creator behind the Keep It Wholesome brand, who I've gotten to know over the past 8 months. And this is very much a conversation. It was a lot of fun to kick back and have a more casual approach to the show, and I hope you enjoy it too. Also, if you're listening to this early, don't forget to tune into our Twitch stream this Sunday, the 27th, at 2 p.m. PST. We'll be chatting with Ari and Elise, a couple of community members and past guests that I'm really excited to talk with. We'll play some Minecraft, answer some questions, and hang out. I can't wait to see you there. But first, this week at Blond Radio on Instagram, I gave you a prompt. What goals do you have for 2021? Here's what you had to say.
Hey Brad, my name is Summer and I'm calling from Kelowna, BC, and my goal for 2021 is to basically recalibrate the way I view success. In this case, means quitting my job. My dream in life is to become a writer and just live life more creatively, and it's always been a concept that I've struggled with pursuing because of the whole creatives make no money and blah blah blah, and I just want to pursue that this year. I want to be able to make things creatively and I want to be proud of them, and I just don't want to think about money and using that as a direct success deal, if that makes sense. I want to be proud of things that I do versus thinking that they're good because I'm getting paid for them, essentially. So yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Hey Brad, I'm Boris. I'm calling from Moscow, and in 2021, aside from graduating school, 2020 has been hard on me and left some scars, and in 2021 I want to heal and sort my life out, I guess, get everything in its place, and definitely complete all of those things I planned for 2020.
Hey Brad, it's Sophia calling from upstate New York. My biggest goal for 2021 is to be as grateful and in the moment as I can possibly be, because 2020 has really taught me that we take so much for granted. Basic health, being able to see our friends and family. We go through everything so fast we don't even realize that we have those privileges. Once time completely stops, when the world stops, we realize how much we miss those things. And that's a really important lesson, but it's just crazy that everyone had to learn it at the same time.
Hey Brad, it's Dylan. I'm calling from Syracuse, New York. For me, my main goal for 2021 is to really focus on expressing myself creatively more. I know I definitely slack off in that department a lot, and I really want to dedicate more time to making things that I'm proud of and things that I'll be able to look back on in the future.
Thanks to everyone for submitting their responses. Now, here's Simon. Simon, the man.
Sorry I couldn't make yesterday. I have to explain myself.
You're good.
I'd like the opportunity to explain myself. So I was under the impression for some reason, I thought it was at 9 a.m. because I thought I was ahead for some reason. I had a brain fart. So then I was like, oh crap, we both must have forgot or something. So I was like, hey, then that's when I texted you and I was like, crap, I forgot about that. And then I didn't realize that I was 3 hours behind and it totally threw me off. And then other things planned. I was like, crap, but we figured it out. But yeah, it made me so confused. I was very confused at what's going on, but
sure.
It worked out.
Time zones are whack. Honestly, for the first month of having the Discord server and people being in different time zones and playing events, my brain was on fire.
Yeah, when you're trying to schedule things for people in Europe and stuff, or
exactly.
Just weird time zones, it's so tough. Yeah, what time do you use for your events? What have you found that works best for you?
I just always schedule around PST. That's my time zone, and then I'm like, you guys figure it out. But I find usually earlier in the afternoon works for most people because it's around 10 p.m. midnight EU time, which they're usually up for anyways, and that's just later in the evening for East Coast America.
Yeah, that's what I try as well. It's so weird. It's in the middle of the day, but It works for them.
I just thought about this as we're coming up on New Year's. Is it just gonna be Happy New Year's every hour for 24 hours?
Yeah, literally. I didn't think about that.
That'll
That's that's funny.
Awesome. Simon, how's your day going?
Yeah, it's going well. I've taken a lot of time off recently. Just enjoying myself and kind of getting back into it. Because I read this book where the positivity advantage or something like that, and
Oh, nice.
it basically made me feel better about taking time off for myself. So that's why I took some time off. How about you? How are you doing?
Doing good. Started Twitch streaming, which has been a lot of
Oh
fun.
yeah. How was that? That's been good?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's on Sundays we do Minecraft and like kind of mini interviews, and then during the week we just play like normal single player games, and it's so wholesome. I don't know. It's like it's so much better than TikTok Live in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know, just a lot more control, and like you can actually do stuff instead of staring at the screen, which I always found so weird whenever I went live, just like sitting there.
No, that's sweet. Like I saw your post where you did like the mini interviews. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Most people, I'd assume, if they're coming from TikTok or at least from my community, they probably know who you are. But for those who don't, do you want to give like a brief pitch on who you are? What do you do?
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Simon. I make videos on TikTok around like mental health topics, and I've been a friend of Brad's for a while, and I've been on the interview before. But yeah, our audiences kind of overlap a lot, and it's really cool to see. So yeah, that's what I do. I just kind of make videos, just chill. I have a clothing brand too, and we're kind of in like the same like sphere of content type stuff. I don't know. So yeah, that's me. That's my pitch.
Too humble. Because recently hitting 1 million on TikTok, a bunch of other milestones for you. And when we first spoke back in May, that was our first call. I went back and I looked at some of the video I made and some of the interview. At that point, I think you'd only raised just over half of your goal of the 30,000 for the school.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which is
wow,
insane
I didn't
to
think about that. Oh my gosh.
I remember at some point, I can't remember when, you were telling me about goals you had for this year. What were they exactly?
I could pull them up. Hold on.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up exactly what I wrote because I'm a big like proprietor of like, hey, like write down your goals and then just see what happens. Check back in 2020. Okay, so my goals. Okay, my goals for 2020 were 200,000 followers on TikTok, 100,000 on YouTube, which is not gonna happen, but 20,000 on Instagram. That's like my personal, and then 30,000 on the brand Instagram, which is pretty cool to look back on. Yeah, some of these, like at the time I was writing these are obviously like ridiculous like goals, I guess, but I like putting stuff out there and just seeing what happens, I guess.
For sure. Well, but then even in the sense of like you had a goal of 200,000 on TikTok and here you are with 1 million, like that, surpassing above and beyond.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, I think that there's definitely something to that. Writing stuff down is so important. What's the power in that? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, so I would go into like the manifestation type of stuff, but I don't want to delve too deep into it. But it's just like, I don't know. Recently, I started writing down stuff in my journal, which I like go back to every day, and I answer like the very specific questions on like where I see myself a year from now and stuff. And I don't believe in like manifestation having like supernatural powers. Like, I guess I can kind of understand that, but I think it just keeps you grounded when you really just write down your goals. You feel like you have this like obligation to kind of achieve those goals and work a little harder, especially if you're like writing them down every single day. So there's definitely something to it. It just really helps me stay focused, I think, because a lot of times you're like get kind of lost when you're mostly doing creative work, and it's like, okay, what's my actual goal here? But if you set them, and usually it seems pretty shallow because usually like they're number goals, right? They're X amount on YouTube or X amount on TikTok, and that seems pretty shallow. But I found that out of anything, that's a good way of kind of navigating through what your goals actually are and how hard you want to work beyond anything. So I mean I just enjoy it. I'm sure you have your own goals too. Like, I'd love to hear those.
Oh, for sure. Oh, man. I just keep it so abstract. And it's funny that we're talking about this because I found this the other day. 1 second. Let me grab it. It's over here on my shelf.
All right, bet.
Before I started really going hard on content, I had a marketing job. I was in an office. It was a startup, but it was starting to get like some traction, some steam.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's sweet. Yeah,
there's maybe 30, 40 of us employees. And I was like one of the newest people there, and it paid the bills, but also, I wasn't really making as much content that I liked. And so one day I wrote down this little note and it kept it on my desk at work, and I'd look at it literally almost every day. One, I was just feeling so down. Okay. It says, keep going, and then Gon from Hunter x Hunter. Just
Yo!
Gon, period. And then I said, this is your fucking year. Own
Yes.
it. Make art.
Yes. Yes.
More work. Be the best that I know you can. And then I put, if Sam, Jake, and Nathan can do it, so can you. Those are 3 people in my life that really like followed their goals, and they're really killing it.
Dude, I love how you put going in there.
Oh,
it's just going.
I put workout, make art. Now, I haven't really worked out as much as I would like to, but I think the rest is falling through really well.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wrote that in like January with no intention of getting to where I am today, but like it kind of worked out. Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. Was that before you started your TikTok account?
Yep.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just been dumped, and I was going through it, and I was like, all right, we're about to make 2020 the best. And then this was even before COVID, so I lost my job shortly after that. But I mean, here we are. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And I mean, that you've come so far since then. It's crazy to think about that.
Oh, insane.
Dude, that's awesome to have that like memento and like have that kind of thing.
Probably famous or something, I don't know. Because, speaking of the year, lots of unforeseen challenges. What would you say through this year, despite so much growth you've had, what were the hardest challenges you didn't expect or you didn't perceive to be challenges, but it ended up kind of being an obstacle you had to face?
I would say that a lot of it came with kind of things I brought upon myself. I think a lot of times, like, a few days ago I wasn't doing the best, or like a week ago, and it was from like this drive to create content. And I feel like it's not in a bad, like it's not the worst situation I can be in. And obviously, like, I don't want to say the most cliche thing, which is obviously like COVID and everything locking down, and school was really difficult doing it online, and it was all confusing in that sense. But on a more deeper level, I think one struggle that I've had is just the struggle of like creating content and kind of figuring out what to do. And it's always comes at this point in any content creator's life where you hit that plateau and then you break through, and you hit that plateau and you break through, and it's a constant struggle. So I think, I'm that's definitely something you could probably relate to, and someone listening, like a lot of people listening could relate to, is you constantly hit that plateau, and it's tough in those moments when you hit that plateau to like really get motivated and inspired, because when you feel inspired, you'll inspire other people. So that's probably been one of the most unforeseen things, because at the beginning of the year, I didn't know I wanted to do this or where I was going to take this. And everything kind of just came up where you kind of face that daily grind struggle against your own creativity. And I think that's something I've dealt with, apart from, the rest of everything that's gone on in the world to this point. But yeah.
Yeah, and we've talked to it before, but especially with the algorithm, like you're making something that's getting a lot of traction, and suddenly, as you're saying, the plateau hits, and you have to find a new angle or something different. And it's the constant innovation can be mentally taxing, but also wouldn't be making the content we are, if we didn't have that barrier.
Yeah, and I think like that sticky note you had, a little note you had, and those sorts of things. That's what really keeps you going through that. And also, it's having other people to talk to, like these conversations right now, like that is so valuable. I've learned it's like I'm in a tough place. I go to talk to one of my friends who also creates content, owns a business, or kind of does their own thing. And after those conversations, you come out feeling so inspired and so ready to like take on the world. And I think that's so underrated. So it's even like having this conversation. Like I want to be on your podcast to just talk to you and like feel inspired and come away from it, being ready to take on the world. And I think that's definitely something super valuable. So, I mean, yeah, like meeting people like you and the talking, it definitely helps.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sharpening each other kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, like on your sticky note, you said like, if your friends could do it, like you can too,
Exactly.
So I think that's really admirable.
Totally. Now, being on the grind, of course, important, but how do you unwind? Do you still have fun? Are you taking breaks when you can? As you said, you've been taking a break recently. How do you know when it's time to sort of let off the gas?
I think I feel like there comes a point where you're kind of really struggling and you realize the quality of what you're putting out there is going down because your mental health isn't great, and I was reading this book, and I was talking to you before this, and I think it's called, I forget what it's called, something about positivity, but basically they do a bunch of studies and they realize that, hey, like if you're happier, and it makes so much sense, but just reading it and hearing about it kind of like made it sink in more. It's like if you're happier, everything else in your life gets better and you'll be more successful. Like they've done a lot of studies on like business output and productivity and even lifespan. Like it's crazy, but being happy is the start, and then kind of like then you can create great content, then you can do this, like that is the foundation. So I think like going on like what I do for like my breaks, I guess like any other person, like watch anime, I go to the gym every morning now, and it's been great for me, not just physically but mentally. It's definitely kept me up there. So spending time with my girlfriend and family, and especially during these hard times, it's just forgetting about everything that's going on for a bit and just taking a little time off. And I realize it only takes a few days before all of a sudden you're drawn back into it and you get excited to make a video and you get inspired. But I really think that you need to take that time off and, focus on your happiness first, as corny as it sounds.
No, that's so true. That's so true. There's been so many weekends. I try to take weekends to myself, but more recently I've been like, well, I could prep this on the weekend, so it'd be easier for the week. But it never works out that way. It just like clogs up my weekend, and then then the whole week's work, and that's no good.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you're speaking there, that motivation comes back, and you're like, oh, I want to make a video. What's your favorite aspect about making content? Because you've been at this for years, and although you've been through various phases of like, everyone's growing up on YouTube making Minecraft videos or doing different things or whatever, the drive is still there. What is it for you about videos and content that just, nothing else really itches?
You know what, man? Like, this just happened today. Someone got Keep It Wholesome tattooed on themselves.
I saw that on your story. I was like, what the hell?
That is what... how do I see that and then like not get excited and not, it's interactions with the community, and that blew my mind, man. It's going from seeing Keep It Wholesome on the ground in Africa in front of a school we built to like Keep It Wholesome tattooed on someone's body who's like committing this message and caring so much about what this means. That's what keeps me excited. And I think especially what other people create makes me so excited. It's listening to music or seeing this video on my For You page that really inspires me and brings up this emotion in me. It's like, I want to create something like that. So I think it's a mix of those things. And I think recently, I've definitely been like listening to more music and watching more videos, and honestly like really paying attention to what my For You page is. So I've like sculpted it into like providing me a lot of inspirational content, just getting a bunch of like very artsy videos and creative videos that inspire me. And I think the best artists steal, so getting inspiration from other places and just from my own community, it keeps you going. And I think you need some of that, like always. Like no one can just sit there and block out the world and then create like the best thing ever. Like I think they have to like take cues, and people have to take inspiration from art around them. Being open to any sort of inspiration has been huge for me.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I dropped out of my first university program, but a quote that I will always remember from one of my profs in one of my classes there is that art builds upon the shoulders of other art. Like really nothing
I like that.
is original. Yeah. So often in the past I would hit these mental blocks of like, it has to be fully original, like, or else like it's not my thing. It's like no. Everyone's building off of the artists before them. Like, exactly. Obviously don't like plagiarize or copy anyone, but it's gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I like that. That's definitely good advice. Yeah, there's something about music, man, that just like kind of it inspires me.
Are you seeing some music Simon in the future?
I don't know, man. Like, I just love like making playlists now and just like trying to find like it's tough because it's like trying to find like going through these ambient music playlists and anime music playlists and emotional like playlists and trying to find something that hits. And once it hits, it's like, oh, like this is perfect. I can hear my like voice over this already. And it's not like I have an idea for the video, but once you get that, it's like perfect. So I think especially like now, like the content I create, like a lot of it comes from the music and what it makes people feel and how it like blends together with what I say. So yeah, definitely like just like focusing on getting more inspiration from music, I guess, and other creative outlets.
For sure. I like that. And we won't say no to Music Simon. We won't say yes,
No,
but
Music Simon's there. Music Simon's
he's
there
lurking.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm lurking as always.
Sweet. Speaking to your community, do you feel like it's changed from the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, in any community, you'll see people come and go, and we've gone through growing pains. Like, same with like the business and everything. Like, everything goes through changes, and it sucks because you see people like leave and go. But I think right now, the biggest indicator of community for me is our Discord server. And I'm sure you feel the same with your Discord server, but I feel like we're finally in the mature phase. Like, it's been literally a year, but like we're finally like mature, if you know what I mean. Like, it feels very stable, so I'm happy about that. And definitely, like, I feel like it's changed a lot in terms of like, you know, people come and go, and you know, sometimes people that were here last year like hop in every once in a while and talk. But I think I'm happy where we are. I'm very excited for the future, and we're in a stable position, which I'm very thankful for.
Nice. Yeah, that's great to hear. What do you think is the cornerstone of like keeping a healthy community? Is there anything that you do in particular, or
I'd say leadership is tough, man. Like,
yeah,
I don't like it, and like having to like, let's say like if you're in a community, having to like demote someone, or like, that's tough, bro. That is so hard, and I hate it. But it came to a moment where I was like, I have to do this to protect people, and it's like really like making sure the right people are in the right places that care about what you're doing in leadership positions in like a server, or you know, making videos, or just people that you surround yourself with is important. Also, I think just like, you know, being genuine, I think people really understand that. Like, you can tell you're genuine, Brad, and then it like your energy like flows from yourself to the whole community, and they feel like they want to be better people because of like you and this environment. So it's only cultivating that environment. We're starting a Minecraft server. We had one before, but we're doing it the right way on the new year, so I'm excited for that. And it's just like being more active in the community, and especially with like the second wave of like, or I don't even know if it's second wave, maybe like third or fourth wave of lockdowns going down, like new strains popping up. It's like, it's very important now. But yeah, it's difficult. If I knew that exact answer to that question, like I would love to know that, but it's hard. Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think it's something you can ever, it's just, there's so much pain that you have to go through when you're building these systems, whether it's like a business or a Discord server or just anything in general. It's important to not get sucked up in that and realize that, hey, like other people went through this as well. Everyone goes through problems when they're building something, and that's just how it is. So it's having the long-term outlook on that, and like saying like, where do I want this community to be? That's something I've had to learn, which was pretty tough, but yeah, it's getting better.
No, true. Yeah. And like some of day to day, like I'm juggling lots of things, and I'm managing files, doing interviews, going out and shooting. But like, as you're speaking to, yeah, sometimes those hardest decisions are like in the evening, like messages I'll get, you know, about issues in our server that you just have to make a hard decision on, because it's kind of like for the good of all type thing.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, dude. I was at a point where like so many people were messaging me like, hey, like this is going on. I'm like, what do I do, bro? Like, I'm so like, I don't know. But people look to you as someone who has to figure it out, and eventually you got to figure it out. So yeah.
And I find that like by making those hard decisions and being very decisive and kind of like putting your foot down, it sends not only a message to like what is and what isn't acceptable in the community, but then also it like builds confidence in like my other moderators and stuff, as far as to like what they feel comfortable like saying no to and stuff. It's like, I totally agree with that. It's just being a leader. What the hell? That makes sense now.
Man. Yeah. There you go. Like, it's tough, but yeah,
for sure. But Simon, if time and money was not an issue, what would your dream project be? What thing has been sitting in the back of your mind?
Oh, I'm gonna think about this for like. This is a good question. Hold on, let me think about this. I feel, honestly, I'm going to say that I like what I'm working on right now. Like, I feel like this would be what I would work on. It's so, I'm trying to think of something else, but I don't think there could be something else. Like, after the first school build, my goal is to like build 10 schools and like do that great stuff and make a foundation. But I feel like I feel so blessed to say that this would be what I would want to work on. Like what I'm doing now, making videos. And, if time and money weren't a thing, obviously I'd be making like better videos, higher quality production or whatnot. And, going to cool places and recording cooler videos in terms of like the landscape or whatever. But I really am happy with what I'm doing, and I'm grateful for that. And just the community we're building, and I see something very special in it. So I would say, it might be a lame answer, but like I would do what I'm doing now, literally.
Totally.
I gotta think about that.
Oh, I like that.
What about you, Brad? I want to know what you
shoot.
have to say here. I'm flipping it on you.
It's interesting
I wanna
because, before, like, this wasn't really the plan to, like, have a community. It wasn't the intention. I kind of had resigned myself. And for the past maybe 3 or 4 years, ever since I got into making videos, because I would just make videos for me, and I had a little channel that, got no views, and I would just mess around. But I really liked the stuff I was making. And I always had a dream of making, like, a feature documentary film or some type of short film or something, which I still think I want to do. But because the community is like, you go a week or even 2 weeks without putting out content or making videos or something, that can be, I'm not saying it would be for, Blonde Radio, but that can be a death sentence. So it's a little frightening for if you want to tackle a bigger project, because that takes time and preparation, and you gotta go to shoot on location or whatever, or write up a script. So I don't know necessarily. Like, ideally, one day I would love to make a feature film or a documentary or something. But I think we're still working towards that, and I think some of my favorite directors didn't start making movies until their mid-30s. So I think I got plenty of time.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a really cool goal. It's like a project for a documentary. I think that's awesome, actually. I think where you're at is like you said, like, it's something very difficult to do when you're just like in the day-to-day, and you have so much of your schedules just like booked, and it's difficult. I think like eventually, if you like grind to like scale this thing, and then like really have people around you that kind of help you out, like the load eventually becomes a little lighter, I feel like.
Sure.
That's something I'm trying to figure out, like with like the clothing brands, like how do I make this load lighter on myself? What was that?
Your team, you got a team.
Cool. I'm starting to, I'm starting to feel like friends are helping me out and trying to figure this out. And, it's difficult, but I think once you get that perfected, it's like, bro, like, you can go off and really just be creative and just like have that, and also worry about your community, of course, but it's a little less weight. Then you can do a lot. So I think that's really cool though, because it's like something that you could do what am I trying to say? I think that like making a documentary is something that I think would be cool about kind of what you're doing. And maybe you don't have that idea and you're not going to make a documentary right now, but you could start filming. You could start like filming yourself, like editing and like digesting and recording that content, so that when the day comes, you can like look back and like, hey, this is Brad from like 2020. Oh my God. Like, I don't know. I think that'd be cool.
One of my favorite documentaries is called Minding the Gap. 3 skaters, and they all grew up together, and one of them was always filming, and the footage that they have in this documentary is like from the past 10 years of their life, and like when they started filming, they didn't know it was going to be a documentary, but the narrative kind of found itself over the years, and it's like, maybe I've been filming it, I don't know, who's to say.
Yeah, exactly. You're documenting it right now. You're creating your documentary right now, so I don't think it's something you have to worry about.
Likewise for you, like how many gigs of footage do you have on those hard drives, man?
Dude, it's a lot. Like, I got a new computer, so then I like copied everything over, and I'm getting like, now I'm starting to get the external SSDs because I really like, I need extra room. But yeah, it's like so awesome because there's something about old footage, it just pulls at your heartstrings, and it's just like, wow. Like, imagine like it's like the Snapchat memories thing, right? Imagine when we're like, if we're still using Snapchat, we still have it, and we're still like recording our memories, like 20 years from now, then it's like 20 years ago today, like this happened. Like, what? Like, I think it'd be really amazing to like be somewhere where you want to be, and then look back and see like Brad like in 2020 just working every single day, working really hard at editing a podcast or videos, and that is the best feeling in the world. I feel like that's one of the best feelings in the world. So I mean, yeah, like you're making your own documentary as we speak, I guess, in a way. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, gotta make future Brad proud.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool, man. Yeah, definitely cool.
Sweet. I always start off this interview talking about your 2020 goals list. Are you making a 2021 goals list?
Dude, I haven't actually started that, but I have to, just like
Yeah.
out of courtesy of the tradition that I'm starting. Let me think. So the goal I didn't hit was 100,000 on YouTube, which is something I really want to hit. And I realized, when we were talking earlier, I was like, hey, like, I don't want to start something where I don't really put all my effort into it. And, if you make lackluster content, why make content? But I realized that that's just an excuse. Like, I have to start making YouTube content. I have to start making content on other platforms because, if I wait and then I start posting, it's still not going to be the best. But if during that time I posted like 70%, 80% of what I could produce, like every single week, it'll slowly get better and better. By the time I like can fully devote myself to like this different platform, then my content might be a lot better. So yeah, I was watching this like Yes Theory Plus video about creativity. It brought up a quote by Ira Glass, which was so cool. And
nice.
In every creative's, I guess you've probably heard this, but every creative has this gap because they have good taste. So they know what movies they like, they know what videos they like, but there's this gap between whatever they produce and where they want to be. And that's really frustrating. But literally the only way to make that gap closer and closer and make content close to like what your taste accepts is by making a lot of content. Like it's the only way to close that gap. So sitting around doing nothing won't really do anything. So I was thinking about that. And it's like, now I want to post more videos on YouTube. And that was, I was making excuses to myself. But yeah, I think the most important thing is you still have good taste. Like, what anime you like, what like storytelling you like, what movies you like, and you want to make something like that. And when you create something, you're going to be disappointed with it because you still have good taste. You still know what a good movie is. But if you keep making content day in, day out, you'll eventually get closer and closer to that. And that's something I've been thinking about, and it's really pushing me forward these days. So yeah, that's I guess my plan is like, it's very shallow, but it's something you can quantify as 100,000 on YouTube. I guess. And besides that, maybe I'll make some goals for the business or something. You got me thinking now, though. I'll definitely think more about it going into January 1st. We're close, dude. We're close to the end of the year. It just
it's crazy how December was like 1 week, hey?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what the heck? Dude, December went by so fast. That's no joke. Wow.
Insane.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh well. 2021. Here we come. It's gonna be great.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Simon, I want to thank you for taking time every day and speak with me.
Of course.
In closing, what advice would you give to someone who wants to make goals for themselves moving into this new year? How do you follow through on something when it feels like you're not getting anywhere near those goals?
That's a good question. When's this gonna be posted? Is this like right
probably
New Year?
If not this week, next week? We'll see how it pans out. I was taking a week off. We'll see.
Okay, so my best advice to someone that wants to start making goals for themselves would be to surround yourself with people that will hold you accountable. That is it's the most highly determining, I guess, factor. And kind of if you're going to get up on those days where you don't feel like, working out. And I usually use working out as an example because it's something that being around other people has really helped me on. But like creating content and talking to people like Brad or other people, like even in the business world, it gets me motivated and drives me. And I think there have been days where, so we go to the gym every morning, and there have been days where I don't want to get up, but my friend Matt, who's my neighbor, he like drives over and then we drive together and he's like, I'm here. And it's like, oh crap, like I have to do this. I can't let him down. So I think the biggest thing is surrounding yourself with people who are going to hold you accountable. And it's finding those people who do have their own goals and aspirations. And it's kind of difficult. And it's, especially now it's hard to meet new people, but even like online, you can meet people who are doing great things, or even comparing yourself to like a creator and what they're doing. And if they're working hard every day, then it makes you want to work hard every day. So I'd say the best way you can do that is to first write down your goals. And second is to find other people who are driven that will help you along the way. And I think that will increase your odds of kind of following through for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's something that's definitely helped me. Without all these people, like there are creatives that have kind of joined me on my journey and kind of been there, as well as like the friends that have helped me through my physical goals or other goals in life. That's definitely been a huge factor. You really become who you surround yourself with, and I would definitely take that to heart. So yeah, that would be my advice moving into.
It's a little bit of like it's like an anti-networking as far as like not meeting people to get ahead, but sort of like to build each other up. Because if you're gassing up your friends, they're gonna gas you up. Your fellow creatives,
Exactly.
There's nothing I appreciate more than seeing like one of my mutuals post an insane video like that comes up on my following. I'm like,
Yes,
oh
dude.
my god, and just like
Yeah.
leave a comment, and they comment back, and it's just like it's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And it motivates you beyond anything if you know the person. Like
Mhm.
I think finding long-term people who really want to play this like long-term game is very important. I heard this quote on a podcast. It's like you want to find people who are gonna build up the pie with you instead of like cut up the pie, you know? So I think
Mhm.
that's very important to kind of find those people. And you know, it might be tough, but there are other things like you can hold yourself accountable with an app, or just like with there are a bunch of different like ways you can do it, but the best way is just to like find some friends or people online who will really hold you accountable and talk to them about what you're doing, because it's like a friendly competition sometimes, or it's just like you just want to see what they're doing and feel inspired, and I think that's great.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You know, social media is all about comparing numbers, but I think if you step back and like try to see your fellow creators as comrades, they're just people making videos the same as you
Exactly.
are, and that can be so inspiring as you're speaking to. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like I see something cool and I'm like, dude, I want to make like if I see a video on my For You page or following or someone I know, or even if it's someone I don't know, that makes me feel something, like I'm like, wow,
Mhm.
like then I want to make something like that. And it's like, dude, I've got to do this. Like it really motivates me. So it's going back to like what inspires kind of what I create is other people's, you know, art. And I think it all comes full
Yeah.
circle in that.
It's the
So,
taste. It's the
yeah.
taste.
Yeah, the taste. You gotta close the gap by making a bunch of content and just like doing your best. And like the stuff's difficult, you know. It's difficult to work out 100 days in a row. It's difficult to make a video every day. It's difficult. It's going to be difficult. And there, you know, everyone goes through that grind. But really, like, if you really want to do what you set your mind on, like, if you really want to get fit, if you really want to, I don't know, learn an instrument, if you really want to do that, like, it will show and you'll be able to do it. But that becomes a lot easier with people that want to push you as well around you. So, yeah, and especially just taking care of your mental health in the process. It's something that gets, like, lost and swallowed up in,
100%.
like, the grind lifestyle. But it's important to be happy and then do these things because you'll perform way better. So, yeah, always never forget about the mental health part. It's so important.
For sure. I love that. And, you know, fits right into your brand. Keep it wholesome.
There we go. Keep it wholesome. Perfect.
Simon, thank you again. Thank you so much sharing your words and your
Thank you,
story.
Brad.
As always, one of my favorite people to talk to, and
I appreciate it.
Yeah, just really great to touch base and hear where you're at. And
Yeah, for sure.
man, your 2021 goals are gonna pop up. I can't wait to talk to
Hey,
you.
likewise, man. Hold me
in the
accountable.
future. We will, yeah.
I'll hold you accountable. There you go. We'll get things done. Big things coming, guys.
Huge.
Huge. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Well, we'll definitely be in touch, and
For sure.
I'll talk to you later.
Sweet. See you, Brad.
Ciao.
Appreciate it.
Special thanks to Simon and everyone who submitted a response to the prompt for making this episode possible. Intro music provided by Wayfie, that's Wayfie, and accompanying tracks by Lowboil, that's Loboil, who can both be found on all major streaming platforms. I'll see you soon, and thanks for tuning in to Blond Radio.